How did the NATO bombing change the role and strategy of NATO? Let's take a closer look at how the NATO bombing of Yugoslavia in 1999 transformed NATO's role and approach, especially in the context of Southeast Europe. This event marked a significant shift in how NATO operated and was perceived. Before the bombing, NATO was mainly known as a defensive alliance focused on protecting its member countries from outside threats, particularly during the Cold War. However, the bombing campaign, called Operation Allied Force, changed that understanding. For the first time, NATO used military force without the permission of the United Nations Security Council. This decision sparked debates about the legitimacy of international intervention and raised questions about NATO's authority. The bombing targeted various sites, including military and civilian infrastructure. Bridges, factories, and government buildings were all affected. The goal was to pressure the Yugoslav government to withdraw from Kosovo and stop its actions against the local population. However, this approach led to significant destruction and civilian casualties, which drew criticism both in the region and around the world. Economically, the bombing caused severe damage, with estimates of losses ranging from $30 to $50 billion. Many people lost their jobs, and poverty increased in Serbia. This created a challenging environment for the local population and fueled resentment towards NATO. Strategically, the bombing demonstrated that NATO was willing to act beyond its original mission of collective defense. It showed a readiness to intervene in internal conflicts for humanitarian reasons, even when NATO member states were not directly threatened. This shift was seen by some as a positive step toward preventing human rights abuses, while others viewed it as a dangerous precedent that undermined national sovereignty. After the bombing, NATO took on a more active role in the region. Following the withdrawal of Yugoslav forces from Kosovo, NATO led a peacekeeping mission. This mission expanded NATO's responsibilities to include post-conflict stabilization, reconstruction, and the protection of minority populations. While some viewed this involvement as necessary, others saw it as a long-term foreign presence that could lead to further complications. In essence, the NATO bombing changed the alliance's role from a strictly defensive organization to one willing to use military force for humanitarian intervention and post-conflict management. In Southeast Europe, reactions to this change were mixed. Some people supported NATO's actions as a means to protect vulnerable populations, while others criticized the external interference and the consequences of military action. This event remains a defining moment in the region's recent history and continues to influence how people view NATO today.